Disney Pixar Monsters Inc. A Mother's Touch. Work was piling up in the offices of Monster Inc. Celia was out sick with the flu, and there was no one to cover for her. Just then, Mike had an idea. I'll call my mom. She'd love to help out, he said. And so later that day, in walked Mrs. Wazowski. Sully and Mike went out to discuss some new plans for the Laugh Factory, while Mrs. W made herself at home, very at home. When Sully and Mike returned at lunchtime, they barely recognized the reception area. Mike's mom had hung ruffles, curtains everywhere. later that day, Mike rehearsed some new comedy routines. What do monsters eat for breakfast? Asked Mike. Anything they want. Sully and Mike laughed until their sides hurt. I couldn't help but overhear, said Mike's mom. It might be funny if you wore a silly hat. Sully shot Mike a look. Thanks, Mom, said Mike. A little while later, Sully and Mike summoned Mrs. W over the intercom to come to the lab floor. Mom, do you know anything about this? Mike asked nervously. He pointed to the key cards, which were now filed by color, making it impossible for anyone to know which card belonged to which door. Sully turned and spoke to Mike through gritted teeth. She's your mother. Do something. Just before the day was through, Mike went to the front desk, sat down, and took his mother's hand. He had never fired his mother before. This wasn't going to be easy. Mom, you know I love you, and you make a terrific receptionist, but... Just then, Celia walked through the front door. Googly bear, Celia cried. Smushky woo, what are you doing here? Mike asked. You're supposed to be home in bed. I couldn't stand being away from you one day longer, Celia gushed. Mrs. Wazowski beamed. He is irresistible, isn't he? Well, I guess my work here is done, she said, gathering up her things. Suddenly, Mrs. W stopped. Oh, Mikey, what were you about to tell me? Not a thing, Mom, said Mike as he gave her a kiss. Not a thing, the end.